What's up everyone, welcome back to Lace Up Channel. My name's Mickey. In today's video, I'm going to tell you why DEX is more important than ever in 2023. Major retailers like Kroger, Publix, and Walmart are further pushing or even forcing their distributors to purchase a DEX system. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. Anyways, let's get right into it. Before we get into how to actually do DEX and why the distributors are forcing you to do it, let me tell you what DEX is. DEX is also known as direct exchange. It's a form of EDI, a way of getting your invoices and credits directly into the accounts payable of the retailer that you're dealing with. Now, DEX was designed over 30 years ago. And the reason why retailers started putting it into place is because they realized that receivers on the dock were so inefficient in putting data manually into their systems. They wanted a system that would expedite the receiving process, eliminate all discrepancies, and tie the payable from the retailer to the receivable to the distributor. So now that you know what DEX is, how does it actually work? Well, if you've got drivers out in the field, they probably have some level of invoicing / proof of delivery system, so they carry around a device like this. On this device, they're able to generate invoices and credits for the retailer. And then using this little fob, they plug this into a port in the wall, and with the push of a button on this device, you transmit the invoice and you transmit the credit. Now, when that arrives at the receiver's gun, the receiver is able to validate the quantities, they're able to validate pricing, and they're able to finalize the invoice and accept what you're bringing in to that store. So to actually do DEX, the first thing your driver is going to have to do is open up the DSD application. Obviously, we offer one of those, but we're agnostic to whatever DSD app you use. The concept is almost always the same. Now, like I mentioned before, there's two ways to do DEX. The first way is you can have a pre-order that's picked, packed, and shipped and preloaded on the device, or you can physically create the invoice or credit right from the device. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna search for a customer. Okay, so I'm gonna use this customer Publix 10, and we're gonna go ahead and create an invoice. Now remember, my demo here, it allows you to create an invoice on the spot and DEX it on the spot, whereas if you're a pre-sales, the sales order would be sitting here. All you'd have to do is bring in the product, plug in your DEX fob, and DEX the pre-existing sales order. But for the purposes of this demo, I'm gonna go ahead and create a sales invoice. I'm gonna sell 5 of these original pretzels. I'm gonna sell 3 of these cheese curls. Now when I'm done, I hit done. I select the invoice, and on the top left, I hit the button that says DEX. Now, once I do that, I get this blue screen. And this blue screen indicates that we're ready to DEX. So we're gonna hit this DEX button below. Now, obviously this would happen once the driver's brought into the receiving dock, the cart with the product, and they're ready to be actually checked in by the receiver. Now to DEX, we hit DEX. The system will prompt us to take this fob and connect it into the port. Once it's been connected, we hit Start DEX, and it starts connecting to this Bluetooth device and ultimately DEXing that invoice to the retailer. Now, obviously, because we don't have a port to DEX into, it's going to say it can't connect to the server. But once you connect to the server, that invoice for those 2 items would be transmitted to the receiver's gun, and in the gun, they would see the quantities that you've transmitted, the units of measure, and the products. They would ensure that those things are correct as well as the pricing, and then they would hit DEX back, at which point you would retrieve those changes here into the device, and those changes would be stored into your DSD application. So once you're back in the DSD application, any adjustments that were done by the receiver, let's say that you accidentally invoiced 6, but they only received 5, those are automatically synced back here with an invoice number. If there was a price discrepancy, that's also handled during the DEX process. And if there was a product that you were trying to sell the retailer that's not authorized in their store, that would also be addressed. The bottom line is once you've DEXed in and synced your DEX changes back, the invoice that you've DEXed to the retailer and what they've accepted in their gun and is now sitting in their payable will ultimately match what's in your system and what will travel back to your receivables in your QuickBooks or NetSuite or whatever system. Now you guys have seen the process. You know exactly how DEX works. And you know why it's important. It's going to dramatically expedite the time it takes you to receive and it's going to take and sync up the invoice that you transmit and the one that the retailer is ultimately going to pay you for. Now, the benefit of this on a large scale over the course of the year could save both you and the retailer a couple employees. For the retailer, obviously, it's going to be hundreds of employees. For you, it might be the people that spend all the time taking all that information and keying in that sales data into your system of record. And because you've optimized now your receiving time, you've synced those invoices, you eliminated all the manual data entry, the ultimate benefit of that makes for an ecosystem in the distribution space that's 10 times more effective. And that is why retailers are forcing distributors to implement these DEX systems. So guys, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed that video, go down below, comment, ask me any questions about DEX. I'll make sure to get back to you. I tried to make it as concise as possible, not really getting into the details of the fields that you actually need to DEX. If you need to know those fields, again, comment down below and we'll let you know. Apart from that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you next video. Take care.